I am slightly scared for this video, not gonna lie. Hello everyone and happy Friday. Today, as you guys can tell, I have a letter here that I wrote to myself years ago, 2016, which was 10 years ago. Our English teacher had us write these letters to ourselves, and I think we were supposed to reopen it again in 10 years. I read this the last time I cleaned out my room, which I would say were almost a year ago. I don't know, I do think it is interesting to look back on something when you were so much younger. 10 years ago, I was 17. See how things have changed. Our English teacher wanted us to talk about like our goals and stuff, or what we had for ourselves, where we wanted to be in 10 years. And I also thought it would be fun that after this video, I could go ahead and write another one to myself. However, I am too impatient to wait 10 years. So I thought I would write it to myself for 5 years and just continue that on and see how this goes and kind of keep this all as like a collection to myself. I can look back on all of it and see how my life went. I just want to say I hate reading aloud in front of people. I don't know what it is, but if my voice starts getting shaky, that's why. Dear future self, I hope you have finally graduated as you read this. I have. I graduated 2 years after this. My hopes right now as I write this is to be more confident and my own person, not someone who is what everyone expects her to be. I do think that has become true. I will say I think I have become more confident over the past 2 years and more of my own person. Am I as confident and outgoing as I want to be? No. But we're working on it. I don't have many hopes or dreams as of now, only just to continue growing as a person. I think I have the same fears as everyone else, failing, embarrassing myself, but I have others such as being afraid of the dark. Hopefully you've gotten over that by now. I have not. I think it's actually kind of gotten worse. My joys are that I have a family, shelter, and a warm meal every night. That is something that I always try to remind myself of, the basic things that people might take for granted. I'm proud of myself and how I've progressed. What bothers me most right now is, of course, finals, stress of the summer job, and getting my first car. I don't quite remember the stress I was going through at this time. I remember the stress of my actual final year in high school. It was horrendous, but I do recognize that I was probably stressed about this stuff. I do not think I got any of these things though. Summer job or my first car at this time. I got my first car much later. I got my driver's license, I want to say the year I graduated as well, so I was also around 21. Actually, it may have been a little after I graduated, so it might have been when I was 22. I did get my driver's license late. One thing I don't like about myself is that I feel like I'm a boring person. That was a random thing to say. This is something I still struggle with to this day because multiple people have told me that I am a boring person to be around, that I'm not an exciting person to be around. People who I considered friends at that time. So yeah, that is unfortunately something that I still struggle with. I would say as long as I'm fully comfortable around you and I don't feel like I'm constantly being judged, I will be myself around you. I feel like I can be a pretty fun person to be around. You just gotta give me some time and not pressure me. I live in a simple house, always infested with spiders and snakes. There's nothing too special. I have everything that I need, but my favorite thing in the house is the kitchen because I love to cook and bake. When did I love to cook? Baking, sure. Cook? I think I was lying in this sentence, but okay. The kitchen is one of my least favorite places now in this house because I feel like it's always so tight. So things have changed. My favorite possessions are my piano, baking set, books, and camera. Hardly ever use my piano. I do not know how to play it. I keep saying I'm going to. I have like notebooks and everything to teach myself, but I have yet to do that. And there is an element in this letter that I do know I want to avoid talking about, just for personal reasons that I may eventually talk about in the future, but right now, no. I have 2 cats, Kiara and Minnie, who hate each other, but still somehow get along in their own way. They did have a very interesting dynamic. I did eventually find out when Kiara passed away that they were actually very close, and Minnie ended up getting very depressed and dealing with grief once Kiara passed away. We also have a few other animals, 2 birds, 3 dogs, and 3 more cats. Wow, I'm mean here, but they aren't as special as my cats. Alrighty. I get what I was going for, but ouch. Whenever I move out, I want to get another cat, hopefully a Russian blue because they're my favorite breed. Okay, this is the portion where I'm going to skip. I'm very excited for the summer because I'll be doing an internship. That was an internship that my special ed teacher gave me the suggestion for. It was like a practice run for jobs. You learned all the basic necessities you need to learn for a job, like what your emails should be, things that you just need to know in the workforce. Learning how to shake hands, which was very interesting. I won that contest. Basically learning things that most people don't get taught in the job that really does help you in the long run. I really enjoyed that internship. It was really fun. Got to know some really great people. The only thing I didn't like about it was that I ended up with a job I didn't want to. I had to switch jobs because the other kid who was given the daycare job didn't like it, and so they made me switch with him. So I had to take care of children, and I don't like children. I don't have very many hobbies besides baking, reading into the late hours of morning, writing, and daydreaming. Some of my pastimes include camping all through the summer with my cousins, filled with hiking, fishing, and sitting by the campfire. I remember when I was around 5, I was obsessed with The Lion King, and while running on all fours in my house, I broke my toe by getting it stuck in a milk crate. That was one of the most painful experiences. I think I mentioned this before in another video, but my toe pretty much went like that. I broke it again by jamming it against a rock while swimming in a river. I used to play soccer when I was 8, and now I want to do volleyball or track. I really did. Just didn't have time in high school. I spend my weekends sleeping, eating, and helping my mom around the house. I have my mom and her husband. I never met my biological dad. I only know his name. I always hope that he has changed. He has not. He does not want anything to do with me. Woo! I have 2 brothers, but unfortunately Clayton was killed by getting struck by a car. I also have 3 stepsisters and 4 stepbrothers, but we aren't close anymore. This sounds so depressing. I'm the youngest out of all of them. Skipping again, because we don't want to talk about family problems. All my favorite teachers in my life are in this school, and I admire all of them because they've all believed in me. I know which teachers I was talking about when I was writing that part. And generally, the majority of the teachers that I had experiences with in my high school was really great. 2 drove me absolutely insane, and one of them, we did not like each other. That's a story for another day. I don't have a boyfriend, obviously, or else I would never shut up about them. Oh gosh, I was so different back then. Hopefully when I read this, I do, especially since I'll be in my 20s. Because God forbid you be single in your 20s. I'm almost 30 and I've never been in a relationship. I don't hate that. My family is important. Everyone that's in my life I consider important. People who annoy me are the people who aren't responsible and who are disrespectful. I have no idea what my future will be like. My predictions, I need to learn grammar, my goodness, is that I'll have a car. I do. A career, janitorial. It's not really the career I'd like, but yeah, we got one. Closer to my family. Negative. I'm close with my mom and doing everything I've always wanted to do. I feel like I'm getting there. I'm looking forward to being a stronger person. Woo! Proving that I can be successful. Woo! I fear, though, that the society will continue to get so much worse. Oh, you have no idea. I think as of right now, I want to go to college. That's smudged, but maybe online. I never ended up going to college because I was absolutely petrified. Every time I actually think about applying to college, my heart just races. So I don't know if that's the avenue for me, personally. I want to get married, but then people would assume I'm pregnant if I get fat. I'm not against marriage, but marriage just feels not something I would desire in the long run. I'm not sure what my career would be, but I hope it has something to do with running an animal sanctuary, and then I put parentheses, but that's a little extreme, lol. Or maybe a counselor for teenagers. Congrats on graduating finally. Sincerely, yourself. Running an animal sanctuary is something that has always been on the back of my mind, or at least something to do with animals and helping animals not go extinct. I think that's something I still would like to do. Where my ideas have gone is generally writing books about specific species and kind of making them similar into middle grades to kind of put fiction in with reality of what's going on with those certain species and kind of educate younger people who are obviously the future of our world to hopefully open their eyes to how they can potentially help these animals and what these animals go through by providing a entertaining experience by throwing in some fiction and fantasy. Another idea that I do like is doing something with wildlife videography, but I don't know exactly if I want to do that. That's something I always go back and forth with. The writing thing has always been something I've loved the idea of doing. I've always delved in writing and writing stories for years now, ever since I was about 10. I just have to stop being so scared and actually do it. Got to know a little bit about me. But yeah, it was interesting. I would say for the majority of the things I have actually succeeded in. I'm going to write at some point today, write another letter to myself for 5 years down the road. I will be 32. It will be shared in 5 years once we get there. I did really enjoy doing this video. It was interesting to see how I thought back then. I don't think exactly the same way as I did back then. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday, and I shall see you next Friday. Bye! Hey.